We good? I think we are good to go. What is up, everybody? It's your boy TV. We have not been live in a while, but here we are. I figured we come on and we talk a little bit about just college football in general. I know it's Thanksgiving, but it's like, you know what? There's might be people out there who probably didn't get a chance to spend Thanksgiving with anybody, and maybe they just want some time to hang out with somebody, and what's up, Mayhem, and hang out with somebody and kind of get to, just like I said, just kind of chill and let's talk some college football. The way I'm going to play it is we'll talk today in pieces. As you saw the thumbnail, we're going to talk Michigan, Ohio State. We'll talk Georgia, Alabama. And I'd like to talk a little bit about Jordan Travis's injury and kind of what that did to college football, what we saw this past week. And if you want to talk about a certain subject, you are welcome to come in for that subject. Like I said, do not mind at all. So, yeah, like I said, that's how we'll play it. First things first, I'm going to post the link, and then you tell me what you want to come on for. But Michigan, Ohio State, that is going to be my biggest topic for today. And the reason that it is, I do not think that Ohio State is good. I've said that all year. And truly, my reasoning behind that is I will see this man, Kyle McCord, throw for 180 yards. And I'm like, oh, man, okay. What's up, Jay Shipes? I'll see Kyle McCord throw for 180 yards, 185 yards, 200 yards, whatever it is. I'm like, man, he got 2 touchdowns. Okay. And then I go to the box score, and I see that out of the 200 yards he threw, Marvin Harrison has 170 of them. Guys, every game, Marvin Harrison has 70% of the offensive production. Now, that's awesome. He is a very good player. But this is the worst offensive production that Ohio State has had in years. Like, bro, I think I was like in preschool the last time that Ohio State had this kind of offense. Their offense is terrible. It is. It's honestly terrible. If you think different, you can tell me otherwise. But what's up, Millis? Yeah, Big Ten is a fraud. And then don't even get me started on Michigan. The first game that Jim Harbaugh gets suspended from the sideline, what do we see? After the game, the coach is like, oh, man, this is for you, Jim. We miss you, buddy. We love you, man. Dude, he was gone for a day. You saw him the day before. You literally saw him the day before at practice and was like, hey, Jim, we got you, bud. He did not die. He did not get deported. He didn't get sent to another planet. That man was chilling at the house watching you beat up on some nobody, and you're crying after the game? Like, the fact that everybody in the Big Ten tries to pull these strings with whatever play they have, whether it's stealing signs from somebody, whether it's Ohio State complaining that Marvin Harrison should have been targeting on Georgia. We would have won that game. We missed the field goal. That's the only reason they won. We missed 2 in the game. Like the constant excuses from the Big Ten, the constant the talk that I hear from them, it's always well, if this. What if this would have happened? And I'm done. You got Alabama, who started out terrible. Now Alabama looks better than anybody in the Big Ten. And Michigan. No, stop. Michigan's strength of schedule. Everybody dogged Georgia for their strength of schedule. Now we got 5 ranked teams on our schedule. So, yeah, what's up, Vic? Happy Thanksgiving, bud. I'm at a point though where I'm starting to. I'm done being the whole humble Georgia fan that's like, Lord, please let us win 3 in a row. No, like, these other teams are not as good as they were last year. Georgia last year against Ohio State was a great game. You think Georgia versus Ohio State this year is going to be a great game? This man, Ohio State can't even put up 300 and something yards passing on nobodies. Kyle McCord got 175 yards passing against D4 schools. I don't even think they have D4 schools. Like, you think you're going to put up 300 on Georgia? Stop. You don't think Javon Bullard will make another statement on Marvin Harrison Jr.? Okay, my bad. This is supposed to be Michigan, Ohio State. That guy crying was planned to make it seem like Harbaugh's the victim of. Exactly. That's my point, though, of this whole acting deal that's going on. I put the link in. If anybody wants to come in, you're welcome to talk about this one. And the way this will work, when we get to a new subject, I'll kind of refresh it and let people come in that want to talk about that. But all I'm going on about is, happy Thanksgiving, Daniel. I think Michigan is going to destroy Ohio State. I do not think Ohio State is very good. Multiple games that I've watched of them, it's not the struggle because every team has struggled here and there in games, and I get that. It's the eye test that last year you watched Ohio State and you were like, oh, like oh, okay, like hey, they're pretty good, like they're really good. You got a quarterback that's amazing, and if you don't know that, you hadn't been paying attention to the NFL. C.J. Stroud is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now as a rookie. That's how good Ohio State was last year. Um, I think Ohio State is a good football team, but I don't think they are on the level of a Michigan or Georgia when it comes to dominance. I think Michigan is not as good as Georgia, but that does not knock them for this game. I think Michigan will go on to, I'm going to say, beat Ohio State by 2 to 3 touchdowns. This is not going to be some close game. I don't believe so. I do think that Michigan is going to come in and run the ball down their throat. I don't think Ohio State has the greatest rush defense. So that being said, J.J. McCarthy has not been the best quarterback either. I'm sitting here dogging Kyle McCord. J.J. McCarthy doesn't have the greatest stats. He's a good quarterback, and it seems like he makes good decisions. But over the course of the game, he seems to settle in a little too much and get a little too risky. We've seen that multiple times, and it's not on the interception, it's not on the stats, but you'll see these not overthrow. He tries to fit it in windows that aren't there. Harry Leg, happy Turkey Day to you too, bro. So still think Michigan's going to dominate Ohio State in this. I think with all that's being said with Jim Harbaugh not being there, does that make a factor in this game? I do believe so. But I know that Michigan's going to come into this game trying to make a statement because Jim isn't there, which I think is going to boost their team up even more. Ohio State's going to feel like they have the opportunity to win this game. They're going to feel like they have the opportunity to take down Michigan once and for all. And that's a great point. I think Kyle McCord is a better quarterback than J.J. McCarthy, but quarterbacks do not win ball games by themselves. What's up, Ultra? Quarterbacks do not win ball games by themselves. Ohio State's offensive line is nowhere near what Michigan's offensive line is. Michigan's defense as a whole is better than Ohio State's. The one position that I would say is above for Ohio State is their quarterback and one receiver. That's it. I don't know if Michigan has multiple receivers, but I know Ohio State has one, and that's the only one that I know. I don't know any tight ends, nothing. The running back position, I think, is kind of averaged out for both teams because Travion Henderson is a great running back for Ohio State, but then you got Blake Corum and then Donovan Edwards for Michigan, who those are 2 running backs who are very good as well. I think it will be a really fun game to watch just because of the intensity, the pissed offness that both teams bring into this game, the fact that Ohio State's looking to get their first win over Michigan in however many days. Jay says people are alleging that Michigan sold some of their signs to OSU for the Peach Bowl from them scouting Georgia. Oh, Jay. Well, guess what? It didn't matter. You know, that's probably why that game hurts them so much, Jay. That would be hilarious. It's probably why that game hurts them so much is because, man, we cheated and still couldn't beat Georgia. That's funny. Okay. So on to the next thing. I'm going to go score prediction. I know Mayhem just said his was 28-24. I do like that prediction. He's picking Ohio State. For me, I think Ohio State is going to sputter. I do not think they get out of the 20s. I think Marvin Harrison can only do so much by himself. If you go, like I said, go and look at the stat sheet, it's Marvin Harrison and then Ohio State. So unless Marvin goes out there and drops 4 receiving touchdowns on 12 catches, I'm going to go Michigan over Ohio State, and I'm picking a 28-31 to 13, 10 or 13. And that's not just favoring Michigan because I like Michigan. That's me watching the Ohio State-Penn State game and going, that ain't it, dog. Penn State at home put up 12 points on you. Then you go and play Indiana the next week, and they put up, what was it, 28, 20, something like that? Like, come on, dude. Penn State's offense is terrible. Like it is. You watch that game, a quarterback couldn't even make 5-yard out route throws. Like, come on. I'm not doing that. Next, I wanted to say, we got Jordan Travis injury. How did that affect college football? Well, what'd you see in the college football playoffs this year or this week? Jordan Travis getting hurt caused the committee to drop Florida State to number 5. They moved Washington up. And I know people are like, oh yeah, but Washington had a good win over. Like, no, Washington has had a bunch of good wins. Both teams are both undefeated. So to me, it's okay. Florida State's going to win the ACC, or at least they're planning to. But quarterback goes down. It's this big deal, and now it's like Washington gets that edge. That's my opinion. The thing that people don't realize though, Florida State's backup quarterback is Tate Rodemaker. Tate Rodemaker was the starter before Jordan Travis. Florida State was down 13-0 to New Mexico or whoever it was, Northern Missouri Mexico State University, and Tate Rodemaker came in and they put up 50 points, and like it was a literally a 50-point swing. So I do know that Florida State is still going to be good, but I don't know if the committee is going to take into account that they are as good with Rodemaker. Maryland has a better offense than OSU, if not for a scoop and score sucking up. Yeah, exactly. That's the eye test. We don't have to be great football knowledge type people, Jay, to know that. Like, you watch that game and you're thinking, man, Maryland is nice, dude. They are moving the ball left and right. And I said this same thing, and I'm going to compare it to what I said last year about Florida and this year about Florida. As much as I'm a Georgia fan, we hate Florida. We're literally born and raised to hate Florida. Last year with Anthony Richardson, Florida was so inconsistent because they could not sustain a drive due to their quarterback's inability to make intermediate to short throws. That's it. This year, you bring in Graham Mertz. That man is running the offense like a well-oiled machine. They lost 33-31 to Missouri at Missouri. Like, you realize Missouri's a good football team, and then you see Florida, who's playing a little inconsistent this year, still show what happens when you have a quarterback that can sustain drives. Maryland, quarterback that can sustain drives. Ohio State, you don't have that. And that's where Vic Tube was saying he picks I think Vic Tube was saying he'd pick Kyle McCord over JJ McCarthy. I'm kind of torn between that because Kyle McCord can make throws here and there, especially, when Marvin gets his 47-yard touchdown pass or whatever, and it's it's a good throw. But JJ at least knows how to run an offense to keep it going. That's what I feel. I may be wrong, but like I said, it's my opinion on it. Florida State is still Florida State in a sense. Still have all three running backs that they have. They still have Keon Coleman, the tight end. They still have Johnny Wilson. They still have the receivers. Their defense is a lot better this year. So I'm not saying they're not going to win the ACC, but I just wonder, will the committee take into account them winning the ACC? Will that matter? I think it's going to depend on how much they win the ACC by. That's going to be my thing. If they blow out the ACC champion, or in the championship game, if they blow out the other team, I think that'll be a big deal. Curious to see how that goes, just because I like kind of knowing how the committee thinks, what their mindset is on everything. But next, and this is last, Georgia Alabama game. I'm really, really hyped up about this game because we owe. Did you see Kyle McCord go to the length of, or I got you, go the length of the field versus a good Notre Dame defense and get the touchdown? I'm not sure I trust JJ. Well, if you're telling me that Kyle McCord went the length of a field one time this year for like you said, a clutch touchdown, and we're 10 games in, I still don't know if I'd pick that. But I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. I'm saying the consistency, I will always choose consistency. I guess it's just being a Georgia fan, seeing Stetson do it, now seeing Carson Beck do it. These guys don't make a lot of mistakes. And if they do make a mistake, they're moving on. Boom, they're on to the next. And our offense runs like a well-oiled machine. Neither Michigan or Ohio State has faced a team with a potent offense. Yeah, not lying. I think Maryland might have been the best, She only beat Notre Dame because, Notre Dame turned out not to be as good as we thought they were going to be. Sam Hartman had a not so good the year this year, which I don't think will hurt his draft stock, but I think he definitely had a much better year last year at Wake, just slinging the ball. UGA has the best offense in the country. It's not close. Yeah, agreed, Mayhem. I love that. And I don't care what anybody says. It sounds biased if it wants. Man, Georgia moves the ball. Like Bobo went from the first couple of games not even being able to score a touchdown in the first quarter. I mean, you're talking 3-and-outs, one first down, then a 3-and-out. Like Bobo was hesitant, he was timid, all of that. And about game, what, 5 or 6, guys? Would you agree? Game 4 or 5, 5 or 6. I don't know if Kirby got into him or what, but that man started out games just moving. Offense would get it, first down, first down, first down, touchdown, first down, first down. I mean, you literally would see at halftime the amount of possessions and the scores that go with it. So I think this schedule this year definitely helped us for everything we had. First year quarterback, offense coordinator, his first year back, getting jailed, getting the chemistry and all that together. And you can tell it has worked out great. I love it. Literally on this little gauntlet we had of all these ranked teams, and we didn't drop a beat. I know we go into Georgia Tech. We're looking to win to have the longest winning streak in SEC history. So this is a big deal. It's not normal Georgia Tech because Georgia Tech has beat. It's crazy that Rec Talk has Georgia Tech scoring 31 on UGA's deep. Rec, dude, if I had his number, I'd call him right now. That's wild. I did not know that. So I'll say this though. Georgia Tech is not Georgia Tech of old. Okay. Georgia Tech has beaten Miami and North Carolina. North Carolina has a good offense. They do. So for Georgia Tech to be able to shut that down here and there, I respect Georgia Tech. I do. For Georgia Tech to knock off Miami. Miami has a lot of talent on that team. A lot of talent. We know that from just watching the recruiting classes over the last 2 years. I respect Georgia Tech. But there's 2 ways you can look at this game. You can say that Georgia goes into this game knowing they play next weekend. They play Alabama in the SEC championship. Georgia can go into this game and they can squeeze by, get healthy, whatever you want to say, and they can win it 28-10, and that be it. We can all say that, right? We can say, all right, look, let's just get out of this game with no injuries. Let's be healthy. Next week, we got Alabama. But you have to look at the totality of everything. And the totality is Alabama's about to play Auburn. I think it's at Auburn. Am I right, guys? They are going to play a smash mouth football game. That rivalry is one of the greatest, right? We do not need to take off the gas after 4 straight weeks of domination. Take off the gas and then expect next weekend for us to just wake up and run full speed into that game. I personally want Georgia to go into this game, not let anything off, treat them like any opponent we've had off the last couple of years. Jerking hair. I want them to, the last couple of weeks, I want Georgia to steamroll Georgia Tech and do their best to play the way we've been playing the last couple of weeks, to stay in that mode, in the zone, locked in for next weekend against Alabama. I don't. And that's what Alabama has that I feel is so good. That rivalry with Auburn right before the end of the year. They have that game that wakes them up. So going into the SEC championship game, they're always like pumped up. They're always like in the zone, and they don't have to wake up for anything because the game before is always a really good game. That is why I wish Georgia Tech was better. I'm not talking crap, but I do wish Georgia Tech was a lot better. That would help Georgia out for finishing the year on a high note. Dallas Turner is dirty. Yeah, I've seen a few plays, Jay. I have. I've seen on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, I've seen a lot of little plays of just Dallas being a little dirty. Not as dirty as that Tennessee player that spit in Brock Bowers' face when he was on the ground. That's the first time I've ever seen any emotion out of Brock. I thought that was not funny that he spit, but I thought it was funny that like Brock was ready to go at it. Which around this time, if you guys remember, Georgia Tech a few years ago with George Pickens, teams are going to try to get under our skin. They have nothing to play for. Their thought is, hey, like let's try to ruin their season, get somebody suspended. And Kirby knows that. He'll speak up on it. But if you're Georgia, you're trying to stay locked in going into the Alabama or the SEC championship game. All right, my opinion on the Alabama SEC championship game. Here we go. Georgia has played against Missouri, Ole Miss, right? Those are 2 games, and I know we played, but Missouri and Ole Miss had great dual threat quarterbacks. They did great dual threat quarterbacks. we have been able these last couple of weeks to prepare for dual threat quarterback style offenses. Okay. And I see that in Alabama. Now, what does Alabama have that these other teams don't have? Well, they have a defense that's loaded with talent. They have the best college football coach of all time, right? And they have a quarterback that runs faster than any of those quarterbacks that I just named, the Brady Cook, the Jackson Dart, and he's probably stronger than both of them put together. So I am happy that we have played teams that prepare us for this game. But the thing that Milroe does not have, that these other quarterbacks have, he does not have the ability to make the intermediate throw or the short throw. His deep ball is great. I've heard Alabama fans say it. Deep ball is amazing, but his intermediate, his medium throws, and his short throws are sometimes off target. I don't know how Kirby's going to play it. I think he's going to start it out like he has all these other games. Jay says, "What did he? Oh, what he did to the Texas quarterback, Ole Miss quarterback, LSU quarterback should have all been ejections. None were." Yeah, that's the part where we as Georgia fans, we see that, and the offensive line is making that statement like, "Hey, you better keep him off of Carson," because Kirby's not those other coaches. Kirby will go out there and fight that ref one on one in front of everybody. Like, Kirby don't care. Kirby will probably spear him like Goldberg, dude, if he does it, and then he'll fight Dallas. So, but I love that Georgia's preparing for this kind of stuff, and I think Haynes King is a good quarterback too. We've seen Georgia Tech this year. We've seen Haynes King make unbelievable throws to be a Georgia Tech quarterback. Right? It's been great. Um, Great point by Mayhem. Mayhem says if we are able to put Milroe in the pocket and keep him there, we will win, no problem. And that's my thing. You guys remember Dumas Johnson this year? He got hurt, but earlier this year we saw Dumas Johnson struggle with being able to play the quarterback spy position. He's a great linebacker, but we've seen him get beat a lot on the outside of playing quarterback spy. CJ Allen, to me, is a much better quarterback spy player. What Missouri did that I thought was genius is they played it in a sense. As soon as Dumas Johnson would take the running back, as soon as he cleared out taking the running back for a flail route, Brady Cook would run. And I thought it was genius of Missouri. So I was like, how is Kirby going to combat that? How is he going to counter that? Kirby started letting Malachi Starks play quarterback spy. So then there was a play where Dumas takes off, Brady goes to run. Here comes Malachi Starks in to kind of stop it. Boom, he got like a 1 yard gain, and that stopped that from Missouri the rest of the game. The thing is, though, Milroe is not Brady Cook. Milroe is a strong guy who, like Mayhem said, if you could just keep him in the pocket, which Georgia's D-line may just play that contained defense, where they don't try to rush them too much. They just all keep on their block, and if they need to shuck their block, they will. I think we'll stop the run for sure, Jay. Pressure Jalen. I see 3 to 5 interceptions. I could see Jalen trying to force some, especially in the second half if they're down. But Alabama's going to try to commit to the run. They're going to try to establish it. I don't think it will work very well. I think we have the best run-stopping defense in the nation. I don't care about stats. You're not playing the teams that Georgia plays. But I think Georgia has the best run-stopping defense in the nation, which has recently come about. But our secondary has been the best in the nation since the beginning of the season. I've been super excited about that. I love our secondary. And that's what Milroe's strength is. Milroe's strength is downfield passing. I'm really excited to see our secondary against that because if we beat Alabama in the SEC championship game, which I'm confident we will, there's no other team in the nation that will beat Georgia. One, because I think Bama is a much better team than what they're ranked right now. And then two, you're giving Georgia that kind of confidence going into the playoffs. I feel sorry for whoever they're about to play. Washington is not Alabama. Michigan is not Alabama. Ohio State's not Alabama. And Florida State is dang sure not Alabama. So I'm really, really happy about the way this is all set up. I just hope Georgia plays well against Georgia Tech and keeps that momentum going into the following weekend. My score prediction for the Bama game, Kirby coming into this game still owes Bama a little bit. He's got that chip on his shoulder because Bama's, handed it to us those first couple of years with Kirby. I would not be surprised for Kirby to try to win this game by 3 touchdowns. If he goes even more, then it just kind of shows you how pissed off he is. But I don't see Bama getting into a shootout with us just because I don't think that unless Milroe just surprises everybody and goes off, I could see a 38 to our offense likes to score, bro. I could see a 30, I could see a 35-21 win. Yeah, there, yeah. Jay said 35-17. I could see a 35-38 to 21 win over Bama. Our offense is tough to stop, but they also have a lot of talent. So it's going to be a can our guys get open? And I want your fans or your opinions. Should Georgia rest Brock Bowers? You know, he's just coming off of his surgery and all that, and he was banged up a little bit last week. You saw him limping. Should they rest him a good bit against Georgia Tech? Should they give him time, or should they just let him play as needed? I personally think they should let him rest. I think him and Kendall Milton give them just a few carries, give the other guys carries, let them get it in, and just preserve your guys for that game. That's my opinion. What's up, traveling fools? So it's a great, like I said, great weekend, rivalry week. I'll have 2 videos come out tomorrow. One will be more about the Jordan Travis injury and kind of how that will hurt slash fuel Florida State. And then 2, though I'll have a Georgia Alabama breakdown as far as, you know, points per game, like little things that Alabama has done this year that, you know, and Georgia have done this year. So it'll be fun to watch. So yeah, I'm, like I said, super excited. I will be. I should have mentioned this a little earlier in the stream, but tonight we will have our first stream on my gaming channel. I was going to do a Thanksgiving stream on Fortnite all day, just to kind of give, like I said, people who don't really have anything to do today, and maybe they don't really have family like that, just kind of give them somewhere to go. But I didn't want to mess with my algorithm, my YouTube algorithm, so I was like, you know what, screw it, we'll go live on our gaming channel, which I'll post that on the community page in a bit. But yeah, it's a, like I said, it's a really fun weekend coming up. I am excited about it. I'm excited for my dogs. The three-peat, I think I'm trying not to think so much about that as much as like Alabama's in the way of that. You know, Michigan's in the way of that. We'll find out more about Michigan and Ohio State this weekend. If it's a close game, that kind of shows us a whole lot. But just a, I don't know. It's a lot of nerves, but it's more. Let's just get through this weekend and then let's go crazy next week. Dog fans are gonna be so loud, and then you got Bama fans that are trying to hold on tight to this legacy that Nick Saban has. Saban's holding on tight. You guys remember last year, David Pollock pissed off Nick Saban. I don't know if you guys remember that, but he was like, yeah, he's like, Georgia has taken the lead. Like it used to be Bama, and now it's, you know, Georgia. And Saban was like right there. He's on the cast, or they had him as like a guest or something. So you have a pissed off Saban with a chip on his shoulder, and all these people over this. Oh man, well Alabama, whenever, you know, you don't count Saban out when he's mad, and it's like that's kind of true. That is true. So Georgia's not going to play a terrible Alabama team. They're going to play a team that is at the height of their playing right now, the best that they have been playing all year. And then now you got Bama about to play Auburn, who's got one of the toughest teams. I know they lost to the other day, and I get that, but you're about to see a different Bama team, and I'm here for it. As a Georgia fan, it's like this is what you live for. You want to play big games. That's why all these teams want to come to the SEC. That's why you're Clemson, you're Florida State. This talk of big teams wanting to come to the SEC. So, do your thing though, guys. Georgia Tech 33. He says UGA 31. All right, Rec Talk. Don't do that, man. But yeah, I'm curious. Curious to see how this goes. I want us to enjoy it. We will enjoy the rivalry week. I will be live later tonight, probably about 9:30, and we are going to just enjoy the entire night of having a fun-filled gaming night and hanging out. And maybe I'll call a few people, call traveling up, call a few people while we're playing, and kind of have them come on and just kind of talk and just a thankful stream. Maybe we'll call up all the people that we're thankful for, every single one of them. But I love you guys. TB is out. Love you, traveling Millis. All of y'all that came out there came in the comment section tonight. Mayhem, Matthew, Jay, Good to see you guys. Good to go live again. I've been really busy, had basketball coaching and stuff, and then working on building my YouTube channel with doing these videos now that they're starting to get a bunch of views. So I've really been enjoying a lot, and also mending ties with family. That's going really well. What's up, ECG? So it's been a, like I said, it's been a fun couple of months, and that's, like I said, just been super busy with it. But basketball's going well. Last year was my first year there. This year we've already exceeded the win total of last year. We are, I love it, but it's a business mindset with me. I don't care how we started. We're still going to get better. And the way that our school works, the school I coach at, usually middle school, you just have like region playoffs, and that's it. This school, their division, has state playoffs for middle school. So we won one game last year. Now, my team was full of fifth and sixth graders, and that's it. We had one seventh grader playing against varsity middle school. So that's kind of why we got beat up a lot. But we are going to go into this, and this year, TB is going to mirror the Kirby Smart style. You know what I'm saying? And we've already won a few. So yeah. Like I said though, I love you guys. I will be live tonight again at 9:30 on the gaming channel. I gotta get some crock pot ribs going. I got a brown sugar, butter, and barbecue recipe that we're gonna get started, and then I'll get the gaming channel posted on the community page, and like we'll go at it like that. But I love you. Appreciate you coming in, guys, and I guess TB will have to start going live some more. I've kind of been out of the loop for a bit. But peace, y'all. I'll see y'all later.